Hey guys, back again with another review. This time it is of 1997's Wishmaster. And you know what? This is one of my favourite horror films. I watched this originally on VHS. I've watched it many times before on DVD, the whole four movies. So when I get done talking about my review, I'm going to tell you a little bit of what I think of the other movies. Even though I'm going to review them, I'm going to just say, a few bits that I think is different to this. So this was directed by Robert Kurtzman and written by Peter Atkins. And it starred Tammy Loren, who was in Martial Law, the TV series. Yep, she was. I was right. And Andrew Divoff, who was in Toy Soldiers. Now, Andrew Divoff's excellent in this role. Then you've got the horror icon Robert Englund, Chris Lemon, Wendy Benson-Landes, Tony Crane, Jenny O'Hara, Kane Hodder, and Tony Todd. So they've got the three legends again in this movie. So they weren't just in Hatchet 1 together. So, let's get on with it. So basically, the film starts out in the 12th century, where a Persian king is basically got the Wishmaster, the djinn, beside him. And he's telling him to do wishes, and his kingdom's basically going crazy. Like big, massive monsters coming out of people's throats, people getting cut in half. And a bloke goes in there and begs him not to do the third wish. And then he pulls out the stone that basically takes the Wishmaster into it. The djinn, sorry. And then we go straight to present day. Now, present day in the movie isn't present day today. It's present day 1997. A guy basically controlling the crane drops the item inside. Thus, the gem becomes loose. And one of the workers at the place takes the stone and takes it to a pawn shop. Well, later on, the boy at the pawn shop takes it in to get it valued by a big company. And that's where we meet the character of Alexandra. She basically checks them and values them and stuff like that. But she thinks she sees something in it. And the way she wakes up the djinn, she goes, that's right, she gives him a blow. And so her friend, who she kind of fancies, and he kind of fancies her, and you're wondering if they're going to get together. He does a little thing on it, test with lasers, and he explodes. And this baby monster goes over to him and says, Do you want me to stop the pain? It looks painful. And he goes, sure, and basically kills him, and he grows into a full-fledged djinn. Now, the movie is really fun because basically what happens next is the djinn gets human form and takes people's wishes. There's a boy that catches him taking the look of the dead corpse on the slab. And he says to the boy, you don't want to see this, do you? And he goes, mm-mm-mm. So he closes his eyes with stuff. It's really pretty clever. And throughout the film, he's trying to find Alexandra, and he goes through all these people. One of the kills, which I remember quite well, is not Tony Todd one, sorry, the Kane Hodder one, because Kane Hodder's the guard of Merritt, who's her boss, and he wants to go and see him to see about getting Alexandra's address. So he says, so the guard's basically like, you're not getting through, and he goes, I'd like to see you go through me, and he goes, as you wish, and he basically crunches him up into the bars, and then, which is with really bad CGI, really bad 90s CGI. I think the worst time for CGI was the 90s, because it's the most dated of all, from my viewpoint. So he just walks through him, and then it explodes like glass, and it's really badly done. I mean, back then it was amazingly done, but now you just sit there going, wow, how much CGI has changed in such a short period of 17 years. I know some people might say that's not a short time, but it is, to be honest. I mean, who thought when computers were made, we would get them to the extent they are now? Whoever thought the web would even exist? Before the web existed, most of us never thought about it. Do you know what I'm saying? So he basically talks to Merritt, and he makes Merritt a deal. I'll give you what you want if you give me the address. So Merritt says he wants $1 million. And then you see someone at the airport who's related to him. And she goes, oh yeah, that's right, my beneficiary is Nick Merritt. And the plane explodes. So he eventually finds Alexandra, and she sees him, and when he kills people, she feels it. She goes like this, ah, ooh, ah, and you're like, okay. So basically, she's got this connection. So he goes in and gets her, and he sits down and talks to her as a woman. And he goes, is there anything I can do for you? And she goes, I'm leaving. And he goes, sit down. And she turns around, she goes, where is she? And he goes, she's in the bedroom. Her face is peeled off and killed. And he says she was very rude. So he talks to Alexandra and he goes, you need to make 3 wishes. And she says, I don't want to. And he basically says, I can convince you to do it and make you do it. And she says to him, shoot, well, kill yourself then. I want you to blow your brains out. He goes, as you wish. And he pulls out a gun and shoots himself in the head. But as soon as he shoots himself in the head, he heals again, because what is eternal cannot die, and that's what he says. So that was really good. I like that. And he was going on about, for your information, that really hurt. I like that. So she goes, oh, show me who you are and where you come from. So he takes her inside the stone, and you see this monster thing chasing her and everything. It's very creepy. But what I would have liked to have seen is like a djinn council. You never see that in this movie. You see these 3 in number 4. I think it's number 4. You see 3 djinns talking to the djinn who's not this djinn but a different djinn. But I would have liked to have seen like I would like to have seen a better djinn council thing, like more of an in-depth story, more of a where did he come from, what did he do, why did they want to do this, you know? So Alexandra basically runs to try and find her sister, Shannon, and it's really funny because she gets to the party and he's right behind her, the djinn, and that's when we see Tony Todd. And Tony Todd's all big and tough with him, you know, you're not going to get in here, you better back off, I don't let a-holes like you in. And he goes, isn't there something you wish for? And basically does, and he ends up in a tank. And the djinn says, this. Houdini did it in 2 minutes and walked off. And that was great. I like that scene. So then he's talking to Robert England. And Robert England says, and he goes on to Robert England about how there was this party in the 12th century that people remember and talk about. And Robert England goes, oh, I'd love a party like that. Basically, it goes all to hell like it does in the beginning. And he chases after Alexandra, and he makes these stone warriors come to life to fight these people. And basically they all die. And this security guard grabs hold of Alexandra and pulls her right to the back. Well, the djinn goes like this, and the character out of the painting jumps out and kills the bloke, which I thought was awesome. So they get to the end, and the stone warriors and the djinn are standing there. And he goes, I want your final wish. And he puts her sister in a burning painting, which was pretty cool. I like that. I thought that was clever. And she wishes for, spoiler alert, she wishes for the guy who dropped the crate from being drunk wasn't drinking. So basically, he ends up being put back in the stone, and it ends up starting from where we began. And everybody's back alive again, and she's happy. And she kisses her boyfriend who she fancies, and he's like, ooh, and that's the end really. And then right at the end of the credits, the djinn goes, be careful what you wish for. So the movie itself, I find this movie to be really entertaining, and I know it's gonna sound weird, but I really love the cheesy 90s effects, even though they look absolutely dreadful. I enjoy it because it feels like I'm going back in time. Now this was 17 years ago that this movie came out. Who would have thought of that? But this was 17 years old. It makes you realise just how old bloody Nightmare on Elm Street is. And Friday the 13th and that. It's crazy. Andrew Divoff is incredible in this role. He's got to be one of those people that is underestimated as a horror icon. Because I really wish he'd have carried on with these movies and had done more. Because he's in 1 and 2, but he's not in 3 and 4. And I think 3 and 4 really, really suffer because he's not in them. because he has that smirk, he has that look in his eyes, he has that real darkness, like humans are my toys, and I know I can persuade you into doing what I want, kind of thing. And when he kills them, it's just like boom, it doesn't matter. And I really like that. And you can see in his eyes that coldness, but looks like a different race looking through, you know. So I really liked his role in this. Tammy Loren, who I've seen in Loren, whatever. I've seen her martial law and I liked her in that, but I've never really been a big fan of her acting. I've always thought it was a little bit over the top, and a little bit unbelievable. I mean, in there she's screaming, it's good, and she's doing a good job, but it feels a little bit over the top, a little bit stale for her. I think when you watch this movie, you're cheering on Andrew Divoff more because you're seeing this darkness and you love it. Robert England's a small character in this. He's in it quite a bit, but he's not in it a lot. He's not like a main character. But what he does is good. But you keep looking at him, you keep going, Freddy Krueger, Freddy Krueger. I always find it weird looking at Robert England in a different movie. Tony Todd is only in the scene where they go to the party, and I think he does pretty well in it. All I ever say when Tony Todd comes on the screen now is this: Helena. Helena. Ooh. Yeah. Candyman. And then there's Kane Hodder, who is basically just a guard, and he doesn't really do much but acts big, just like Tony Todd's character, to be honest. So nothing special there. But I did like the chemistry between Alexandra and the djinn. I thought it was really good. I thought it felt like they were really playing a cat and mouse kind of game. And I liked the kills. I thought the kills were really good. And I liked the way he could convince people into saying wishes, or making them look like their wishes that he wanted to do. And I thought that was really clever. The film itself, when it comes to the cinematography, I was pretty good. Like I said, the CGI is not that great, but then it's 90s, worst time for CGI. So basically what I'm saying is this is a really good movie. I highly enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I'm looking forward to getting on to number 2 now. And I'm looking forward to reviewing that next. But if I'd say a couple of negatives, I'd say a couple of negatives are sometimes the kills feel very similar. Sometimes the film drags a little bit. Not because of it being a bad film, but because you just want to see Andrew Divoff. And when he's dressed up as the djinn, it's like this. And now the effects from the djinn, where the things are wiggling, his hair thing, where it looks like snakes are wiggling. And he just looks so creepy. Because it's weird, because Andrew Divoff, to me, I know he's made up in the djinn outfit. But you look at it and you just sit there and you're like, it's the same character in a costume. Not the djinn costume, but the person costume. You can believe it. It's very weird, but you can. So overall, it's a great film. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because as much as I love it, it's not the best film in the world, but it does a good job and it's a lot of fun. And it makes you feel a bit more like there's some real horror still out there. Because horror's kind of gone dead a bit, if you ask me. You don't get that many real horrors anymore like Wishmaster. You get these things like The Quiet Ones and Paranormal Activity. They're not real horrors. I mean, they are to a degree because they can be good. But to me, I like the old school horror. And this reminded me of that, basically. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And look forward to the Wishmaster 2 review coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care and bye.